Blink and you'll miss it, substreamers. The world is changing. But rather than overnight changes, it's more gradual changes that help us to see these technology jumps over 5 to 10 year periods. But right now, recently, I've seen a range of news stories that convince me that this might be accelerating, that the world is changing before our eyes in rapid technology jumps. And I've got a few stories lined up today to prove it. So stick with me and enjoy what we've got prepared for you. Let's go. So, Starbucks, surprisingly, the world's biggest coffee company, with an annual revenue of around $32 billion, is making some operational changes. And it's actually quite interesting. They have discovered that during the coffee preparation process, they often have too many people. And in fact, by removing a person from the production process and giving that person more of a free role to restock cups or refill the coffee machine, things like that, non-coffee preparation activities, or even just guiding customers to different areas of the shop, are all really helpful in actually speeding up the output. So why is this big news? Well, actually, Starbucks is like 20 something percent of the world's coffee industry. It's a huge chain, and almost every major city has at least one Starbucks, if not more, multiple. And people don't just go there for coffee, they go there as a social space, as a meeting room. And it's become quite key to society. And other cafes copy the Starbucks model. They want to be more like Starbucks. They want that effective branding. And they even introduce, more products that resemble Starbucks. And this operational change is called the Siren Craft system, and I want to tell you a little bit about it and why it's quite interesting. They've already introduced this in 10% of their 10,000 stores, and what they discovered, as well as removing a person from production, is that they were doing things wrong. Before, they prioritized cold drinks over hot drinks. And they've now realized that actually by prioritizing hot drinks over cold drinks, they can output their drinks much faster. Isn't that bizarre? Last year, Starbucks actually had one of their worst quarters ever, and they found that a lot of people are abandoning their drinks orders in the app. They're not coming to the store anymore, and while the cost of living crisis may affect that, they feel that some changes can help. And I've got a list of these new changes here. So if you are a regular patron of Starbucks, here are some things you might notice in the near future. Prioritizing hot drinks over cold drinks, hiring extra staff in busy times, having someone try to stop crowds of customers blocking certain parts of stores, having someone step away from production to solve small problems, as I mentioned, more training, and interestingly, more staff control over the digital production manager tool in their iPads, as well as equipment upgrades. Now, that iPad thing is very significant. iPads or tablets have become fundamental to a lot of hospitality chains. But the problem was for Starbucks that the staff, not only could they not quite use it properly, they weren't being trained on it, and they weren't using it to its maximum potential. So they want to make sure that they can, because they believe it will relate to operational improvements. And that's about it for this story. So let's move on to the next one. So it's actually not just cafes that are seeking efficiency upgrades. I mean, it's pretty much every industry wants to operate more effectively. But grocery stores, or supermarkets as we call them in the UK, they are looking into electronic price tags, and many of them have already implemented them. I believe this is a bit of a nightmare, and I'm going to tell you why. Have you ever used an app like Uber or Lyft, right? When there's, say, a big event, there's a price surge, and dynamic pricing shoots the price up and affects those in particular areas. Now, imagine they could do that in the grocery store. The bananas are running low, now the price shoots up, okay? Oh, there's only one pack of Coca-Cola left, the price doubles. Now, it's not impossible to imagine, because we know that big conglomerates will do things like this. That's no conspiracy theory, that's the truth. Big companies want to maximize profits, and they don't care what we think about it. So imagine you have a supermarket and their tags can update every 10 seconds to reflect whatever price changes they want. Well, in the US, Walmart are already introducing them into 2,300 of its stores by 2026. Now, that is crazy. That's a lot of shops, and these electronic shelf labels will change your shopping behaviors. And if they're happening in store, it's probably even easier to do it for online shopping. So expect your future shopping experiences to change. By the time you've got to the online checkout or the checkout in store, the value of your basket will have changed. Of course, the supermarkets have positioned this very differently. So, as this cultural change happens with shopping, you may see that they'll put prices up, but they will argue that they're using it as a way to get prices down as a sustainability tool. They will greenwash these electronic shelf labels as a way of reducing prices for items that are about to expire, encouraging people to buy them at a discount. That's the argument they'll make. Whether it's true or not, yet to be seen. So it could be used against customers. And let me give you an example. This is how I imagine it. It's a really hot day, heat wave, okay? People are sweaty, they're hot, they're uncomfortable. They want ice cold water, they want suntan lotion. They might even want umbrellas or hats. Any sun-related item could be connected to weather-related parameters and put the prices up. Imagine that. Ice is triple the price because it's a hotter day. Now, that may sound predatory and evil, but have you been on an aeroplane? Huh? Those prices, that's captive audience. It's not far-fetched to imagine supermarkets doing things like this, right? Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Decades ago, people thought that robots were going to come and take all the menial jobs, like cleaning and making food and driving cars and things like this, right? The manual activities. And then AI came along and it started taking the creative jobs, the writing, the coding, the graphic design, the website building. And people got a bit worried. They said, I think we've designed the wrong AI. Well, Hyundai is taking a little step back and they're trying to make sure that their AI is taking on the menial tasks. And I love this story. So let me tell you a little bit about these two robots that are going around Hyundai's plant. Okay, so Hyundai, which actually has AI in the name, perhaps just a coincidence, they've created these two robots at their Factorial Songsu building in Seoul. And these robots are part of the company's Robot Total Solution program. They are equipped with advanced technologies, including facial recognition. So I'm going to tell you, the first one's called DAL-E, Delivery Robot. It's been co-developed by Hyundai Motors and Kia and can carry up to 10 cups of coffee to deliver to designated offices and meeting rooms. Yes, that is a great way to build AI coffee delivery robots in offices. Yes, because why should the intern do it? Why should anyone be the one to make all the coffees for someone else? I think that if this robot can bring more parity to the office, I think that's a good thing. What about the other robot? Okay, now this is cool. This is really cool. I could see this technology going worldwide quite easily. This is the Hyundai WIA, or WIA. It's a parking assistant, and it's super cool. Look at the pictures. Wow. Okay, so this robot, it attaches to your front and back wheels of your car. So you get to the office car park. It kind of comes out, attaches itself to your wheels, lifts up your car, and can move in any direction. It has a way better turning circle than the car itself. So it has these small wheels that can go forward, back, diagonal, whichever way, and get your car into perfect spaces. It has a camera system that guides it, and it can also go and retrieve your car, and even can manage hills, uphill. So, if the car park has multi-level parking, it can go up and down and retrieve your car. You don't have to do anything. Isn't that great? It's brilliant. Let's move on to another cultural innovation that, could see the world changing. In fact, already is, but this time it's not a good story. It's not cool Korean robots. No, it's scammers. And everybody hates scammers, right? Unless you are one, then you might like them, I don't know. But scammers are changing their tactics, as they have to. It's literally a cat and mouse game. So the anti-hackers and anti-scammers improve their efforts to stop the scammers, and the scammers have to create new tactics, techniques, and strategies to scam people. This goes on forever, and so it's constantly innovating. But evil innovation, I would call it. So I'm going to give you a way to protect yourself from unknown caller scammers. Are you listening? Let's go. Okay, so you may have received a frightening call from a scammer in the past who knows information about you, and they're very convincing. They may try to extort you or trick you or gain access to your accounts. So here's what you can do if you're being bothered by unknown callers. For an iPhone user, go to Settings, Phone, Silence Unknown Callers, and switch the toggle on. That's it. Nice and easy. Android users, open the Phone app, tap the More icon, which is 3 small dots, go to Settings, then Call Blocking, and turn on Block Anonymous Calls. Nice and easy. If you want to maybe get some revenge or some information on the scammers, there is a third option. There are 2 apps. One is called Trap Call, the other one is called True Caller. Using these apps, you can actually reveal anonymous callers or unknown callers' phone numbers and give you more advanced blocking options. There is a fourth option, perhaps less effective, but you can actually go to your telecom provider's store and ask them for support if it's a regular occurrence that you're getting unknown callers trying to scam you. Is there more options? Are there more options? Yes, there actually are. And this is real value here. If you're really fed up of these and want to protect yourself, you can destroy the problem at source. So if you've already followed the other steps, here's one more thing you can do. Your data has probably, if you're getting calls, already been scraped and ended up on a database somewhere. And that's why they're calling you. So these scammers are buying these databases and they're just going through the numbers, seeing what they can do. And it's not just your numbers. Your number will be connected to other data. So when they call you, they know things about you. Well, you can hire a data removal company to go to extra lengths to get your data wiped from these databases. In a way, kind of paying a ransom. But that's an effective way to get you off the list. Think about it. I don't know if you can hear the rain in the background, but it's tipping it down here. And so literally the world has changed before my eyes as I record this video. But I'm going to give you another way that the world is changing. And I'm also going to finish on a lighter note because even though these videos are shorter, we still want to finish with a positive story. This one's about the Japanese yen note and how they source their paper. Okay, so banks in Japan last week have started stocking their safes with the new paper. They've got a new print run of their notes. And it comes from a very unlikely source. That is the vibrant yellow flowering paper bush shrubs that grow on craggy Himalayan mountains in Nepal. That's a bit hallmark. It's beautiful writing that. But why is this interesting? Well, we've talked about Japan a lot and how their aging population is showing massive cultural changes. It's becoming more expensive. Their currency is devaluing. They're having major social issues. And they're actually having not enough people take part in agriculture to grow things that they need because of urbanization and people moving to the cities. So not only has this left entire towns empty, it meant that the paper bush tree that used to be used there and grown there for their paper is now not being grown enough. So they've had to connect with Nepal to basically provide the paper for their money. This is really great news for Nepal because they need the money. Their country's not as rich and successful as Japan. I'm going to overlay a beautiful video here of the paper bush tree as I read this glorious description of the plant. The paper bush can be found at the foot of the Nepalese Himalayas, close to the gateways to Mount Everest. Each spring, the hillsides blossom in yellow flowers, with the plant's long, strong fibers being cut for making thin and durable paper. Once upon a time, the plant was grown in Japan, but an aging population and urbanization has seen agriculture and tradition begin to erode. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it to the end. If you haven't, you won't be hearing this, but it's been a pleasure. I'm Joseph, your presenter. This is Substream News. If you're not subscribed, please do. We want to see this grow and provide even more value to you. On that note, see you next time.